Ебать в рот нахуй, охуеть!
Лех Ламов там рядышком.
Ёб твою мать, бля!
Vladimir Putin thought he could freeze Ukraine into submission. By systematically dismantling Ukraine's power grid, the Kremlin planned to turn the winter of 2024 into a weapon of mass displacement. But war has a way of turning irony into a lethal force. Today, the frost isn't just biting, it's burning. Deep inside Russian territory, at the high-security Lipetsk Air Base, the hunter has become the hunted. Putin tried to pull the plug on Ukraine's lights. Now, Ukraine is pulling the eyes out of the Russian bear. In the next few minutes, we are going to deconstruct a masterclass in modern attrition. This isn't just a story about a drone strike. It's a story about physics, acoustic shadows, and the moment a billion-dollar sensor platform met a piece of Ukrainian-made plastic. Before we dive into the cockpit and the code, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button, ring the bell, and drop a slava in the comments if you want more deep dive tactical breakdowns. Let's get started. January 24th, 8:45 a.m., Lipetsk Air Base. Under a ceiling of oppressive slate-gray clouds, a single Russian aircraft sat on the apron. To the untrained eye, it looked like any other Cold War-era turboprop. But this was an IL-38N novella. It is the crown jewel of Russia's maritime and electronic surveillance. Equipped with a distinct box sensor perched above the cockpit, the novella is designed to find things that don't want to be found: submarines, stealth vessels, and encrypted signals. It is a flying brain. Satellite imagery captured just 6 hours prior revealed a flurry of activity: technicians scurrying, engine covers being lifted, and support carts rolling into position. By 11 a.m., this brain would be airborne, becoming a moving sensor platform capable of detecting Ukrainian threats from hundreds of miles away. Ukraine had a window, a narrow, 90-minute corridor of opportunity. If the IL-38N took off, it became an apex predator. While it sat on the tarmac, it was just a target. To kill the novella, Ukraine didn't send a missile, they sent a pack. 4 Liutyi drones. These aren't your off-the-shelf hobbyist drones. They are long-range, low-observable suicide platforms designed for one-way trips into the heart of the enemy. But the brilliance wasn't just in the hardware, it was in the choreography. The 4 drones were launched on staggered, overlapping routes. They were separated by miles of airspace, but synchronized to arrive at the base simultaneously. Drone 1 and 2, the draggers. Their job was to fly wide, dragging Russian radar beams across a broad frontage, forcing the defenders to split their focus. Drone 3, the probe. This drone pressed directly into the defensive belt, acting as bait to trigger Russian surface-to-air batteries to reveal their positions. Drone 4, the finisher, the ghost. It held the most disciplined line of flight, staying silent and low, tasked with the final identification and the killing blow. At 8:55 a.m., the swarm crossed the border. They didn't climb to the clouds, they hugged the dirt. Flying at just 50 meters, roughly the height of a 15-story building, the drones were moving at 135 miles per hour. This is where the battle against physics begins. At 50 meters, most long-range radars are effectively blind. This is known as the radar horizon. Because the Earth is curved, a radar beam travels in a straight line, eventually shooting over the top of a low-flying object. But it's more than just curvature. It's ground clutter. To a radar, the world at 50 meters is a chaotic mess of snow patches, power lines, frozen soil, and moving vehicles. Distinguishing a small composite drone from a truck on a highway is a digital nightmare. For 90 minutes, the Liutyis weren't just flying, they were hiding in the noise of the Earth itself. Russia, however, isn't stupid. They knew about the radar gap. To counter it, they installed a digital ear. Across the approaches to Lipetsk, ordinary-looking telecom towers were fitted with dull gray cylinders. These are acoustic sensors. Inside are high-sensitivity microphones and processors running complex algorithms. A drone can hide from a radar beam, but it cannot hide the thrum of its engine. In the thin, freezing winter air, sound travels with terrifying clarity. The first sensor flagged a broadband rumble. Seconds later, a second node confirmed the bearing, then a third. A fusion routine in a Russian command center built a track. The screen didn't show 1 dot, it showed 4. The invisible swarm had just been heard. At 10:12 a.m., the drones entered the kill zone of a Tor M2 battery. This is one of the most advanced short-range systems in the world, carrying 8 missiles designed specifically for low and fast threats. The Tor crew slewed their fire control radar toward the coordinates provided by the acoustic net. They knew where the drones were, but they couldn't see them. The radar returns were smearing. The drones were so low that the radar couldn't separate the metal of the drone from the frozen mud of the farmland behind it. The operators stared at a flickering static. The window opened, the window closed. No launch. The Tor M2, a billion-ruble masterpiece of engineering, was rendered useless by 50 meters of altitude and a few degrees of geometry. With the ground defenses blinded, Russia played its last card, air superiority. A Su-30M fighter scrambled from Voronezh. The Su-30M is a beast, a twin-engine, multi-role interceptor, but speed wasn't the pilot's friend here, it was his enemy. To find the drones, he had to slow down to near stalling speeds, descending into the clutter himself. The pilot ignored his radar and switched to IRST, infrared search and track. He was looking for heat. In a world of -10 degrees Celsius snow, the hot exhaust of a drone engine glows like a candle in a dark room. At 10:21 a.m., the probe drone made a mistake, or perhaps it followed its programming too well. To clear a ridgeline, it hopped up to 100 meters. For 3 seconds, it was silhouetted against the cold sky. Lock, Fox 2. An R-73 infrared missile leapt from the Su-30M. It didn't miss. The Liutyi didn't explode in a fireball. It simply ceased to be. A spray of carbon fiber and high explosives tumbled into the frozen fields. 1 down, 3 to go. Minutes later, the Su-30M pilot caught a second signature, the first dragger crossing a patch of open ground. Another R-73, another kill. But as the pilot rolled to find the third, the drones did something brilliant. They split. They dove into drainage cuts and followed tree lines, using the landscape as a physical shield. The Su-30M couldn't be everywhere. He was out of time. 10:33 a.m. Lipetsk Air Base is no longer a coordinate. It is a physical reality. 2 drones remain. The third drone, the second dragger, goes in first. Its mission isn't the plane. Its mission is chaos. It slams into a cluster of ground support equipment near the apron. Boom! Fuel carts ignite. Fire alarms scream. Russian security forces scramble. The smoke and heat create a massive IRS blind spot. In the middle of this hell, the finisher, Drone 4, slips in unnoticed. This is the moment where human intervention ends and artificial intelligence begins. The drone's nose-mounted camera isn't just a lens, it's a brain. It's running an automatic target recognition algorithm. The AI scans the apron. It sees 3 IL-38Ns. To a human at 130 miles per hour, they look identical. But the AI is looking for one specific feature, the Novella E-lint pod. Feature extracted, rectangular box. Feature extracted, shadow length 1.2 meters. Confidence 99%. Target confirmed, IL-38N. 10:34:08 a.m. An encrypted burst of data sends a final strike authorized.
The drone doesn't aim for the fuel tanks, it aims for the sensor. It performs a precision airburst maneuver. 3, 2, 1. Impact.
The warhead detonates just above the cockpit. This isn't a Michael Bay explosion, it's a surgical removal. Thousands of tungsten pellets shred the eland pod, the cockpit glass, and the internal processing racks. The airframe is still there. It might even look intact from a distance, but the brain is dead. The sensors are now just scrap metal. The novella, a platform Russia cannot replace due to Western sanctions on microchips, is effectively erased from the order of battle. Ukraine didn't just destroy a plane, they destroyed a capability. Without the IL-38N, Russia's ability to monitor the Black Sea and protect its remaining fleet is crippled. As the smoke clears over Lipetsk, one thing is certain. Putin's attempt to freeze Ukraine has backfired. The ghost in the machine is real, and it's learning. If Ukraine can continue to reach out and touch the most sophisticated assets in the Russian arsenal, the Kremlin will soon find that the front line is everywhere. What do you think? Was this a lucky shot, or is Russia's air defense fundamentally broken? Let me know in the comments below. If you found this breakdown helpful, give us a thumbs up and share this video. It helps the algorithm find more people who care about the truth of the front line. Until next time, stay sharp.